Hi everyone, how you all doing? If you have clicked onto this video because of the title, I'm sorry, but you're going to be very disappointed, just like this fella.
Now this is a beautiful example from the Etruscan period, which I would date around the 4th century. This one is alabaster, and used for carrying fresh water from the river, and used for cooking and for washing, and features a deceased figure in a semi-recumbent position in a classic pose of a banqueteur. The next piece, as you see, is a very basic design, Greek I would say, and possibly used by slaves when...
I'm sorry, it's not about big jugs or tits and fat balls. It's all about garden bird photography. Yeah, so I've had the letter. I've been told I can't go out for 12 weeks. So I haven't got an hour's grace or anything to go and do a bit of exercise or a bit of shopping. I've got to stay in for the full 12 weeks. So the thought process, what are we going to do? Anyway, so I've been watching all the YouTube videos, and there's been some fantastic YouTube videos going up. I've been watching a lot of photography channels. There's been the macro, water droplet, you name it, it's been up, and it's been really entertaining. But it was the garden bird photography that caught my eye. I thought, I've got all this expensive camera equipment, and I did say I was going to change the channel to a photography channel. So I thought this is the ideal moment to go and do some garden bird photography. I've got the Panasonic G9, which would be ideal for this, for shooting birds. It can shoot up to 60 frames per second. The only thing that it would be letting me down would be my lens, because my lens is the 12 to 60mm. At 12mm it's f2.8, which is quite fast, but at 60mm it's f4. Now I'd be using the long end of the lens, obviously the 60mm, which would be at f4, which for the micro four thirds you need the light to get the fast shutter speed. So that means I'd have to boost my ISO to get the fast shutter speed, because the birds that I primarily will be shooting are the likes of your tits, your robins, your blackbirds and the house sparrows, which are extremely fast to like lightning, so you need fast shutter speeds. So I've set a bird station up in the garden, in a part of the garden where there's we've got like a big Christmas tree, and behind that there's conifer trees and there's birds nesting in there. The only problem is it only gets the light of a morning up to about 11 o'clock. Anything after that, it sort of goes into the shade. So shooting at 60mm RF4 in the shade with a micro four thirds, you're not going to get your high shutter speeds. So all the shots will hopefully be done in the morning, which will give me the opportunity, being the outdoor type, is to put a tarp up or a tent or anything as a bird hide, which is what I've done. You'll see this in the video. As you can see, I've got 4 cats. I ordered a new flash off Amazon, which came quite quickly, so I'll be doing some cat photography. And I also bought some macro tubes, so I can be doing obviously some macro close up to the flowers and stuff. I'll be getting into that. So there's loads of things coming up on the channel. So Sharon was quite concerned when I got this letter to say that I couldn't go out for 12 weeks. As I've said, she knows I'm the outdoor type and I love being outdoors, and she thought I was going to go absolutely nuts. But after me watching the YouTube videos, and I came up with I had a eureka moment, and I thought, right, garden bird photography, that's what I'm going to do. So I went down and I told Sharon, and from her reaction, she was over the moon, as you'll see from this next clip. Sharon, I've had a great idea. I'm going to shoot tits in the garden. Oh. As you can see, she took that rather well. Let's get on with the video and stop this malarkey around. I hope you enjoy. Right, so let's get some work done. I started off with some old wood that we had knocking around the garden, drilling some holes to fill the holes with the fat balls and seed. also to hang some feeding stations, and I put this one right next to the washing line because I've noticed in the past that the birds like to sit on the washing line, so hopefully it'll just be onto the washing line and I'll hop over onto the feeding station. That's the plan anyway. I'd also like to mention how satisfying and very addictive this is, but it's really satisfying to see the birds in the natural habitat. Yeah, cut all your loose ends. Thank you, thank you. Also make sure that they have plenty of fresh water, because as you know of late it's been very dry, which is sod's law considering that we can't go out. I'd also like to mention, once you do decide to do anything like this, that it's very important that you carry on feeding the birds once you've done your photography, especially this time of the year when the birds are nesting and feeding the young, that they'll come to rely on this source of food. So that's me placing the fat balls into the holes into the wood. I'm also going to spread some seed and some mealworms to give them a good mixture, and hopefully it'll attract a good variety of birds into the garden. Hanging another feeding station. I think the birds are watching me. I can hear them starting to praise. I've also noticed that when you do your borders and you hold them, this also attracts the ground feeding birds as they come in for the worms. Hi everyone. So I've set the bird feeding station up, and this is the bird feed I've been using. It's a winter warmer, it's a mixed seed. I've also got dried mealworms, so it's a variety, and the fat balls. So as you can hear, the bird songs in full chorus, so there's plenty of birds knocking about, so it's just a case of hanging around and waiting. Patience is the key. So but what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up behind me, I'm going to put my tarp up, my sill tarp one, and I'm going to try and camouflage it a bit to see how close I can actually get. I've had this set up now for a good couple of days, let the birds get used to it, get them into the garden and feeding, and it seems to be working. So I'm going to put the tarp up and get settled in and see what I can capture. So there she is, all set up, my sill tarp one with me Van Gogh self-inflating mat, and for that little bit of extra comfort I'm going to stick a nice cushion to lay on, and also a bit of camo. So that'll just be enough room to stick my lens through. So I'm going to leave that set up for a good few hours, let the birds get used to that, and then I'm going to come out with a brew, get the camera set up, and let's see what we can capture. Hi everyone, I'm underneath the tarp and I've got my GoPro set up over by the bird station, and I'm actually operating it from under the tarp. I've got it connected to my phone through the Wi-Fi system. I'll turn this camera around and I'll show you what I'm doing. So as you can see, there's my phone. It's looking directly onto the bird feeding station. All I've got to do is press the video button to start recording. So hopefully we should get some good images. Right, I'm gonna set this camera up now to see if I can get some shots. So I've set the G9 up. As you can see, I'm at 12mm, so if I took any photographs at this length, the birds would just look like tiny dots. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank Chris, my brother-in-law, for bringing the bird seed and the bird feeding stations to me home, because as you know, I can't get up. So I'm going to zoom in to 60mm, and even at 60mm, the birds are still going to seem very small, so I'm going to have to crop them in post. Also, the background isn't the best, as the first thing I done when we came out to lockdown was cleared the fence because it had a load of holly growing on it and it was breaking the fence, not realising I would have liked to have used it for a nice background. But as I say, this is my first attempt, so that's something to work on. So I'm going to go over to the GoPro. As you can see, I've got my hand sticking through the camo, giving you a wave. That's how close I actually am to this bird feeding station. So hopefully the birds will come and I should be able to get some footage. So let's go back over to the GoPro and see the first bird to turn up is a little robin. As you can see how light and fast they are. As you can see from the images, I've cropped them right in. One, because the background isn't very good, and two, even at 60mm, the birds will seem still quite small. I will put a few photographs up of them without cropping in, just to give you an idea of how small they actually will look. And there's a little house sparrow. These were really difficult to capture because they're so small. I thought that photograph was quite funny with the cat in the background on the water bowl. There's one at a normal 60mm, and that one's cropped in just a little bit. As you can see, they're lightning fast. This blackbird was about the tamest out of all the birds that came into the garden. And the blue tits. As I say, these are cropped in again. This is my first attempt, so on the next attempt I'll probably try and get a better background with a bit of bokeh, some nice foliage, capture them more in their own habitat. But I'm quite happy with the images that I've caught up to now. Here's the female blackbird. She was very difficult to capture as well. She only made a couple of appearances. There's the male blackbird. As you see, the female blackbird, you can tell she's the female blackbird. She's shouting at him, saying if you don't get that food back to the nest, you'll be getting the frying pan treatment as well. So there he goes, flying back off with all the grub for his chicks. As you can see, the tits, they're lightning fast. So this will be another project to capture them in flight. I say it's very captivating and very satisfying watching them. I could have sat in the garden for hours. Well, I did sit in the garden for hours. And these pictures were taken over a week. I never captured all these in one day. So this is a week's worth of hanging in the garden for hours and hours on end. And as you can see from this last picture of the robin, I'll zoom out, and that will be at 60mm, which isn't too bad, but I had to get really, really close. We also had a few pigeons visiting. I liked the colours in the pigeons, but they were that close. They didn't look real. They looked plastic. So we're coming towards the end of the video. I'm just going to show you a quick preview of what I'm going to be getting up to next. As you can see, I've got the birds flying in slow motion using the GoPro at 240 frames per second. So that's going to be my next project, is trying to capture the birds in flight, more in a natural habitat with a nice bit of foliage behind them. As you know, it's going to be quite difficult because of the speed of these birds, but it's so captivating and enjoyable to do. They're just, even if you didn't capture them, just watching them, it's just so relaxing. If anyone's got any ideas or suggestions, they'd be more than appreciated. I know the first one's going to be get a longer lens, and that's something I've been looking at. I've been looking at the 100 to 300 Panasonic and the 100 to 400 Panasonic, but they're so expensive. But if you want to do something like this, you've got to be prepared to spend. So I'd just like to thank everyone for watching. And I know we're in lockdown and everyone's feeling a bit down, but what you've got to remember is in situations like this, there's always somebody worse off than yourself. So thanks for watching, and I hope you're all taking care of yourselves. Look at this cheeky bugger, he just loves being on camera, this blackbird. So take care guys, and I'll see you all soon.